the all-new Yamaha V6 Offshore F350. It's a featherweight knockout, the lightest 350 horsepower outboard on the water, exhilarating boating and incredible control in a powerfully light design. The Yamaha V6 Offshore F350.
On this week's weekly video fishing forecast, we're at Suffolk Marine in Babylon. We have reports for you, a preview of the digital edition of the Fisherman magazine, and a preview of our new podcast.
The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
Hey, today's May 15th, and we're coming to you from Suffolk Marine in Babylon. They got the open house this weekend. Andrew Dean is going to tell you more about that. But let's get into the weekly digital issue of the Fisherman magazine. Now, we have the surf column. That's Know Thy Stick. That's by Dave Anderson. He talks all about surf rods. Inshore column, Staying Hooked Up by Scott Newhall. All about getting those soft baits on those hooks and keeping them on there. And in freshwater, we have Steep Shoreline Sankos for you freshwater fans out there. And we have a product spotlight on Huck. Huck is an official Fisherman sponsor. It's on the Icon X collection. I wrote that up myself. Remember, $29.95 gets you all those issues, digital and print, and it also gets you into the Dreamboat Challenge and the Coastal Kayak Clash.
And now the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge entries for the week. The race is definitely on with a second place entry by Long Islander Anthony Savino. This time, it's his 2.2-pound sea robin that, when combined with his first place weakfish, puts him firmly in first place. It's no secret that the porgy fishing is raging, and another Long Island subscriber, Christopher Jones, entered a 2.2-pound porgy, placing him in first place for the porgy division and third place for overall points. The current second place entry for the porgy division is Long Island subscriber Brian Zembreski with his 2.14-pound hubcap. Current total standings look like this: Anthony Savino with 20 points, Frank Shea with 10 points, Christopher Jones with 10 points. To be part of the Dreamboat Challenge, you must be a Fisherman subscriber. Get all the details at thefisherman.com.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing: that nothing says no to fish bites.
The Fisherman's Jenni Ackerman, she has another open boat special for us this week. It's on tying knots, specifically the uni knot and the uni to uni knot. She has some tips for us. Check it out.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's open boat. Now today I'm going to be showing you guys a little fishing tip. I've had a lot of younger anglers or beginners who are just getting into the fishing game ask me, Jenni, what's a good knot? I'm losing my plugs, they're flying off every cast, or they're popping off on a fish. I'm not a pro with my knots. What's a good beginner's knot to help me not lose so much stuff? So today I'm gonna show you guys how to tie a uni knot, which can be connected to your plug, a TA clip, or a barrel swivel. And then I'm gonna show you a uni to uni knot, which virtually eliminates that barrel swivel. Now for starters, the type of leader material I use is Andes. So there's the Andes fluorocarbon, and then there's just the regular leader material. So depending on where I am, if I'm targeting stripers in the surf, I could do like 30 pound up to 40. Usually if there's bigger fish around off the surf, or if I'm land-based fishing, I'll use 40 pound leader material or fluorocarbon. But if I'm fluking, I'll do like 30 pound. It all depends on the areas you're fishing and what's around you. Like area-wise, are you flinging fish over a canal or over a lifted area, or are you just landing fish off the surf? It all depends. So first, I'm going to show you the uni knot. Now, I encourage you guys to pause this video, go get yourself some leader material or whatever you're comfortable tying with. I know some beginners will use like thread or some yarn, so you can get something like that and sit down and get ready with me, and I'll show you how to tie the uni knot. I'm gonna go nice and slow and I'm gonna explain it for you, and there's gonna be a little video on the bottom here that shows up close, so it's a good thing I just got my nails done so I can be like a little hand model for you guys. But we're gonna get started here on this plug I have, and let's do it. So get out just a little bit of your leader material. This is like ASMR here with the leader coming out. So you're gonna take your tag end and you have the eyelet of your plug and you're gonna pass it through. You're gonna grab your tag end and pull it and make a nice little loop like that. So I do a little pinch right here so I can get my bearings. So you have the leader material that's still attached to its spool, and then you have the tag end. Now, you're gonna take the tag end and loop it. So you're gonna make a loop like that. You can see right here is your loop. So now with that loop, I pinch it right here. So I have it right here. You can see the loop and the tag end. You're gonna take your tag end and you're going to pass it through the loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can do 7 or 8 times. That was 7, lucky 7. So you're gonna have your tag end and pull. And I'm gonna use my teeth on there. So you're gonna pull. So you're gonna have something, let me see if it'll focus. You're gonna have something like that going on right there. So next up, you're gonna wanna use some of your spit and just put spit on that little like knot that you formed. And you're gonna take the end that's still attached to your spool and pull. And you're gonna pull nice and tight. So you have something like that. And then of course, you're gonna take your tag end and get your snips, they're attached to my car keys, and you're gonna cut. So that right there is the uni knot attached to a plug. Like I said before, you can attach it to a barrel swivel also, and you can attach it to a TA clip if you're striper fishing and you need to switch out plugs faster. All right, now that we got the uni knot down, we're going to switch gears to the uni to uni knot. So if you guys are practicing at home, I would recommend putting down your rope, whatever material you're practicing with, get yourself leader and braid, because you're gonna wanna feel the difference in each of the different materials you're working with, because there is a different feel and there's proper steps. So also by creating that muscle memory, it'll help you guys out. You'll be able to do this in the dark. Like there's times where I won't even look at what I'm doing and I'll be able to do it. Muscle memory is important and practice makes perfect. So let's go. So I have my rod behind me here. I have enough braid out. It's a little hard to see, but I got the camera in the corner to help you guys out. So let's put the braid here. We'll do some more leader ASMR. Get yourself some nice leader material. And I got my leader material in my left hand. I have my braid in the right. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put them together, and I'm gonna pinch the braid on my left hand and pinch the leader on my right hand. And we're gonna start with the leader material. So you see my tag end on the bottom here. I'm gonna make that same loop, but I'm making sure that I hold on to my braid material too. See, so you can see my braid is up top here. We're gonna take our tag end and we're gonna pass it through, how many times, folks at home? 7, lucky 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take our tag end and pull. Pull nice and tight. And it's gonna make that little loop there. Make a nice little knot. That's picture perfect. That is the picture perfect we wanna see right there. I'm proud of that. Okay, moving on. We're gonna take the other end, and what I like on this part is I will pinch the leader that I just created that little uni knot with, and we're gonna take our braid. We're gonna give ourselves some room to work with and create that same loop. So I have my loop here with the braid and the leader material, and I'm gonna pass it through 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one more time, 7. And we're gonna pull. And we're gonna create that same knot. Now they're a little ways apart. So you're gonna use your saliva again, and you're gonna wanna get spit all over where it has to meet, because you want them to pull through nicely. So now we're gonna take our braid, I'll wrap it around my fingers, same thing with my leader, and we're gonna pull tight and we're gonna pull nice and tight, and they are gonna join together in unison, and you're gonna have that right there. Look at that, that's perfect. Now, of course, when you're done, you're gonna take your tag ends and you're gonna cut them. And there's a lot of times where people prefer to use the uni-to-uni knot instead of using a barrel swivel to reduce the jewelry on their rig. Now, however, there are times where you can't use a uni-to-uni knot. For example, the rod I'm using right now, I brought out on purpose because I can't use a uni knot on this rod. Why? That tip top guide, that loop is big enough for the uni knots pass through, but the guides following that tip top are smaller. So if I'm fishing in the dark or I'm just totally not paying attention as I'm reeling in, and this uni knot gets past the tip top guide and knocks all those other guides, that could risk popping off one of those guides and I need to get it repaired. So there's certain rods that you have, like example, like if you're taking your buddy out fishing and he's never fished before, you don't want him busting one of those guides, tie a barrel swivel. But there's certain guides where you can go all for the uni-to-uni knot, like a bigger surf rod, like go for it. It just all depends on the extra jewelry and if your rod can handle it. So I hope you guys learned a helpful little knot to help you guys out land big fish. So I'll catch you guys next week on Open Boat.
The Fisherman magazine released their first episode of their Last Cast podcast at Buoy 35. And this past week, I was lucky enough to interview Mike Dean. He's a Fisherman contributor. He's written for us. He's written for other magazines as well. Mike is a great guy. He spoke about his background in fishing, how he got started, what he's doing currently in fishing, and more importantly, the Manhattan Cup coming up in a month. Click on the card in the upper left or in the description below for the full episode.
Now the latest from the Coastal Kayak Clash. We had 3 fish hit the board this week. Ridgewood, New York's Peter Fiana started the bidding with this 16.5-inch weakfish. And we had 2 stripers as well. John Broderick of Mahwah, New Jersey, with this line sider of 35.5 inches. And Ken Stark of Tinton Falls had this 42-incher. The leaderboard looks like this. Justin Oser from New England has 6 points. Greg Sakowitz of New Jersey has 5 points. And new to the leaderboard is Ken Stark, also from New Jersey, with 3 points. To be part of the Coastal Kayak Clash, you must be a Fisherman subscriber. Get all the details at thefisherman.com.
All right, we've got some upcoming events and one going on this weekend. We have the Freeport Tuna Club annual fishing flea market. That's on the 18th. That's this Saturday. Then the Surf Rats Ball Tournament. That begins June 1st through July 5th. That's Bill Wetzel's event. That's for Need More Kids charity. All the proceeds go to that. Then we have on June 3rd is a District 3 boating course. And on June 7th is that big Manhattan Cup catch and release striper tournament that Mike Dean talks about. Get all the details at thefisherman.com/events. You know, I mentioned before, there's a big regulator event going down here at Suffolk Marine in Babylon. Here is Andrew Dean with all those details.
Please join us this weekend. We're going to have a regulator 34, a regulator 28, and a new regulator 23, in addition to our 26 XO. We're going to be open Friday 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 4, and then again on Sunday 10 to 4 as well.
Now let's go around the map. I'll tell you what I've been hearing. On the West End, there was a birthday bass for Pete Travato from Lindenhurst Bait and Tackle. It was also his personal best. Nice fish, Pete, and happy birthday. Fisherman contributor, he's written for us, Tony Durso. I'm sure you've seen his name in there. He got out with Paul Peluso on his boat, Mama Mia, for some good plugging and a slot and oversized striper. The oversized went back, of course. This was last week in Mauritius Bay. They had him on poppers and Dial SP minnows. Gerard Hunter, he caught this bluefish early in the week off Robert Moses Beach. He was using NLB and swim sheds. Gian Spinell caught a monster striper in Jamaica Bay last week. That was on Saturday. And he caught it on a Fluke rig with a squid strip. Pretty cool catch. Nice job, Gian. Brian LaPersonari and Emma They both fished last week. Brian said to me, we both went out with our light surf gear, VR50 on a Legend and a VR75 on a GSB Skinner rod. Casting mag darters. This is the first time, got her out casting. Hooking up all by herself, reeling in this fish all by herself as well. You know, there is nothing better than top water fishing on light tackle. She caught 3 gator blues up to 11 pounds, 11 pounder pictured. I caught 8 up to 12 pounds, epic outing. I think we hooked her for life, and I think you did too, Brian. What an amazing moment to share with my daughter. We're so proud of her, and we're proud of her too. Nice job, Emma. Daniel Rosario, he sent me this one from the Central South Shore on the bluefish bite. He said it's been excellent. Took this one a tsunami, talking popper. Nice shot, Dan. Matt Meister, State Channel, 19.5, 20.5 inch fluke, caught on a 3/4 ounce, and also a 1 ounce glow spro bucktail. He chose a Berkeley 4-inch mullet in glow for the back of that. Mike Kennedy, 35-inch bass. He caught this at Capt off one of the Capt boats. He also told me he hit Shinnecock Inlet earlier in the week, caught blues. He said they're being hauled up by the dozens. Amazing bluefish bite going on there. Bill, he fished Long Beach on the inside area, inside the bay. Monster bluefish, that's what he reported, and he caught them all on premium bucktails. Casey Brill of Island Park, she caught this nice bluefish in Hog Channel. That wraps up my reports. Let's move on to the other reports. And keep in mind, if you do have a notable catch, email me at mbroderick@thefisherman.com. I'll get into the forecast, and I'll try and get into the magazine as well. Meteorologist Rich Von Ohlen, his weather and report is brought to you by Premium Bucktails. You know they work.
Hey, thanks, Matt. We'll check that weekend forecast. You can always check your favorite apps, weather tools, weather sites, whatever you got. This is a general heads up, general overview on the upcoming weekend across Long Island. So a lot of anglers, no surprise here, getting onto the big gorilla bluefish that have been roaming the South Shore bays from Reynolds Channel across into the State Channel and probably out to the East End as well. We're getting these big blues, 8 to 12 pounds, and when they're thick and they're blitzing, you know, you can get them on a fly rod. A lot of fun. What a blast on the light tackle. Thanks to Paul McCain, River Bay Outfitters, for providing the fly rod for me, where I was able to get some of these, you know, pretty cool bluefish, and they're all over the place. Look for the birds, just pop around a little bit, and if you get them, you know, jigs will do, snap jigs, diamond jigs, popping plugs, just a blast if you get into some of these fish. And it's been a good run, so maybe another week or two of these before they move out to the east. We got water temps in the 50s, staying kind of cool again, and it's like a broken record. Same pattern, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, more of an east, northeast, southeast breeze. Maybe not as gusty on Saturday. It could be okay. I don't see a lot of rain. It stays off to the south and west, but not going to be perfectly sunny, not perfectly, calm for the weekend. I think if anything, Saturday a little better than Sunday if you want to do stuff in the ocean. But the bays, the surf, the sound should be okay for the most part. A general 1 to 2, a little more in the ocean by Sunday afternoon. Saturday pick of the weekend if you're going to go in the ocean there. Temps still cool, for this time of year, middle of May, still about 60 on Saturday and, maybe low 60s on Sunday. One of my favorite apps and sites, the Wind Guru. Friday winds, northeast going southeast, maybe 10 to 15 gusts to 20. Saturday looks okay. It's been consistently showing a light breeze from the east. Hope it stays that way. And then on Sunday, indications of a little more of an easterly coming in 10 to 20. So we'll go with, caution on Friday. Northeast to southeast, a little wild in the ocean. Settles down Saturday, could be the pick of the weekend, not too bad. And then looks like Sunday starts to go back down with that east-southeast 10 to 20 and chopping up again. So, could be better certainly weather-wise, but make the best of it. Be safe as always. Catch them up. Lots of fish out there. Have a great weekend. Matt, back to you.
Now we'll check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim.
Thank you, Matt. Well, greetings, everybody, from down here on the East End. Montauk is definitely starting to fire up. Fluke fishing, kind of hit or miss. There's some fish getting caught, but still a little chilly, so it should start changing here soon as the water warms. The Vikings still doing their porgy trips outside of Sag Harbor. So it's a nice shorter ride, and they're still getting plenty of big porgies. The head boats, the Viking, the ebb tide, they're doing like some mixed fishing. So they're doing some fluke and striped bass trips right now because there's a lot of nice bass around. Fly fishing, light tackle, striped bass, tons of fish on the surface. Fishing's really good, and they're starting to see some bigger fish on the troll when they're pulling wire. I'm seeing fish 36 inches or bigger on the flies, so that's a good sign. Other than that, there's some codfish being caught offshore when the weather commits, and that's just basically about it. So the weather's not looking the best this weekend. Might be a little windy, but Saturday might be the one, so try to get out there and do some fishing. All right, thank you, Matt.
From Sag Harbor, we have Will and Andy.
Thanks, Matt. Report this week out of Sag Harbor. Bites still hopefully getting better and better each day. Porgy bites increasing and getting better by us locally in the Peconics. Heard better and better reports of weakfish. And then I think exciting news is now we do have some real gator blues moving into the area. Obviously a ton of fun on top water, poppers and plugs, you name it.
Thanks, Will and Matt. So also out of Sag Harbor, we have some really strong striper reports, both on the surface and down deep. So that could be surface poppers, plugs, divers, poppers, jigs, you name it. All being caught on those, coming up to the surface even in some blitzes, which is really awesome this time of year and can be hard to find. And then also the giant bluefin continue moving east, sort of similar to last week, hoping they start to pop up a little bit more towards the east on our end. So with that, back to you, Matt, and let's get out there.
From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean. Mike, good talking with you last week as well.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Some frustrating fishing going on. There's some bass and blues in the bay, and but there's also a cinderworm hatch going on and a lot of small baits. Fish are very picky. I've seen some fish caught. I caught a couple, but overall pretty frustrating because very hard to match the hatch for that kind of tiny bait profile. Been sporadic fish off the open beach. Some big blues, a couple of bigger bass. The bass are a bit to the west, so hopefully they'll be moving east. The inlets have fish as well. Some of those issues is really just not, for this time of year, the amount of bunker around is pretty minimal compared to other years, as well as the numbers of bigger bluefish in the bay that are typically tailing, free jumping, and going after anything you throw at them. So hopefully it'll all come together this weekend. This weather obviously is a bit of a challenge. Was going to try to go out tonight, but I don't know if you can hear the rain in the background banging against the garage door, but I think I'm going to wait until tomorrow night. So this weekend we'll see. I don't know with this wind if getting out on the ocean by boat is going to be an option. There are some fish in the inlet. The inlets could be fishable. Bucktails, flutter spoons, swim shads. Just obviously be aware there's a lot of blues around, so maybe save your mega shads for another time. On the fluke front, haven't heard a whole lot. I don't think many people have gotten out. A couple of fish caught, nothing really too spectacular going on there. The porgies have been pretty good up to through the Peconics and kind of all in the usual spots, so that's something to go after. And that's about it on the fishing front. On the Manhattan Cup front, Friday, June 7th is sneaking up very quick. We really could use the help of people willing to bring their boat and willing to take out 2 to 4 anglers. Mostly our veterans that we host for the day, try to bring more and more warriors each year, and this year is no different. So if you have the gear you can supply and you're willing to come and join us for the day, there's no charge. Captain's got a swag bag. We supply breakfast, lunch, dinner. The party is great. The people are even better. So reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, leave a comment below, and I'll get in touch with you, and really hope you can join us. I'm really looking forward to an incredible day of fishing with some really good people. So hopefully bump into a number of people from past years, and hopefully a couple of new faces. Maybe you'll be one of them. So let me know. Okay, if you catch anything, let us know. We'd love to hear about it. Okay, back to you, Matt.
Aloha. Let's check in with Hawaiin Dan.
Thanks, Matt. Aloha, friends. I'm Hawaiin Dan of TalkFishTV.com reporting for the Fisherman magazine on the central, nearshore, north shore of Long Island. Grass shrimp and rainbait have still flooded the nearshore waters in my region, but I haven't been able to find the bass or bunker. I even had a second skunk session while covering about 10 miles with my boat Rackham Arrow fishing sub with Apex pedal drive. The water is still pretty cold over here and it doesn't really fire up until the water's hit about 60 degrees. So in the meantime, I've been readying my Sea Eagle inflatable Fast Cat 14 catamaran boat from SeaEagle.com for the season. This is going to give me the ability to cover more ground and a lot less time, and I should definitely have a better report for you all next week. So don't give up, stay positive, get off those couches, grab some friends, and let's get out there and fish. If you spot any bunker or have any questions, feel free to reach out to Hawaiian Dan or TalkFishTV.com, and I'll do my very best to help you out. Until next week, stay safe out there, continue to look out for one another, and keep spreading that aloha! Back to you, Matt.
From the Fire Island area in Great South Bay, Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, Fire Island report. Bass fishing is still excellent. I've been catching a limit every single day. And weather coming up for this weekend is a little shaky, a lot of east winds involved. And on the downside report is slip gut has really become a real problem. So that fishery that was in the state channel for Fluke is, I guess you can still give it a try. You're only down on the bottom for about a minute. So, you know, one thing it's going to do is keep the boats out of there, and I'm sure the Fluke are going to build up again when that weed becomes, when you get through it, it's going to be good fishing again. So for right now, primarily bass fishing, fluke fishing on the south side. You know, I'm talking around Capt. I'm talking around by the Moses Bridge, and so it's a pick. It's not great, but there are some big bluefish that came in the bay, and that's always fun too on light tackles. So I hope things are going to pick up. The weed dies out, and we'll get back to you next week, Matt.
We've got Captain Gaige from Huntington.
Thanks, Matt. What's up, everybody? Captain Gaige here reporting to you from Huntington Harbor, where I fish 7 days a week for SandCityCharter.com. Check it out. All right, another solid week here on the North Shore. Fishing has been lights out, a few windows here and there to get out, whether it's in the morning, whether it's in the evening time, but we do shoot out. And like last night, we shot out between 6 and 8 p.m., and we got out some really, really nice sized bass, fish to 40 pounds. So the bigger the bait presentation, the bigger the fish we're catching in our area. Still no sign of a dope bunker on the surface, and a lot of bait in the water, a ton of rain bait, and we do have sand eels, 2 to 4 inches. So the fluke fishing is off to a great start here. Guys are using live killies yesterday. They got fish to 20 inches, caught a couple 17s and 18s, and they did manage to pull 119 and 120 over the rail. So keepers are going home. And the weakfish bite just started in our area, so you're going to start to see pictures of some weakfish. We're hoping to get them on Friday. We're going to go out hunting for the weakfish and see if maybe we can post some pictures and share them with you here next week. But if you guys can, the water is heating up. The birds are working. It's a ton of fun out there. If you're looking to jump on a boat, let us know. We'll be happy to get you out there. In the meantime, wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water. Back to you, Matt.
We've got Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
3, 2, 1. Hello, Matt. Well, I'm doing one of my favorite things of all times. I love saltwater fishing. I love fishing for trout in the rivers. But one of the most relaxing ways I can think of is get into a canoe and fish all these ponds. Look at this, all what we have here on Long Island. Granted, you're fishing for bluegills, you're fishing for perch, you're fishing for some largemouth. And you know what? Long Island is terrific. We got over 100 of these ponds. Not everyone can you put a canoe on, but most of them you can, especially out in Suffolk. It's a great place. I love doing it. I ran a trip here. I had roughly 10 people. We all caught bluegills, and we had a lot of fun. A few bass were caught and a few perch were caught, but it was a lot of fun. I was guiding Norman, and I took him out there. Now, as far as the saltwater goes, I'm hearing bluefish are all over the back bays now. Get out there while you can. Terrific. Rich, the weatherman, called in to let me know he was into bluefish on with his fly rod for the first time ever. He's hooked. As far as everything else goes, you know what? We're running trips all summer long, saltwater and fresh. Go to riverbayoutfitters.com, check out the trips, sign up for the newsletter because we do a lot of meetups in the evening. And hopefully you're going to join us on one of these wonderful trips you do need a kayak or a canoe or a float tube of some kind, but they're not expensive. Money well spent. So, until next week, tie lines, everybody.
Let's check in with Chris Landry.
Thanks, Matt. Well, Fishing the Atlantic had their annual High Rollers Fluke tournament this weekend on Gypsy Charters. And congrats to Frank the Tank, aka Fishing Guy 81 on Instagram, who took home $4,700 in prizes. Also, a black hole rod was given out, a Yeti cooler was given out for the biggest sea robin, and other prizes. So follow Fishing the Atlantic for these fishing charters. A bunch of cool guys and big prizes to be won. So the Fluke are in, they are in season. People are also catching porgies. Striped bass have continued to be slower than last year, but it is picking up. I was looking at my Instagram over the last couple of years, and I would see tons of stacked bass where the whole Garmin was filled with bass. Now you're lucky to find, a few here and there. You got to work hard to get them. They're out there, they're getting bigger, they're getting more plentiful, but it's definitely slower than last year. Which has me actually now supporting this new slot regulation. Last year I thought it was kind of unreasonable considering the massive fish that were out there the last few years. But this year, for whatever reason, it does seem like there are fewer striped bass. Now, let me know what you think about that slot. And if you also think there are fewer, it seems that everyone I talk to is having a tougher time. But hopefully it picks up. It is starting to pick up. So get out there, book on Gypsy Charters if you want to go fluking or porgies on a headboat. Or I'll take you out on Rockaways charters if you want to get on some striped bass and run and gun. All right, well, be safe out there, get tight, thank you, and back to you, Matt.
From the Western Sound, we have Nuno Decosta from Tyalure Tackle up in Rye.
Guys, Nuno here from Tyalure, Rye, New York, with the weekly recap fishing report. Today was phenomenal when fishing under 2 and 5 sport fishing out of New Rochelle, New York. We trolled them, we casted on them, fish were on top, we read lots of bunker, great fishing. We did live Instagram, so a lot of guys got to see it live happening, what we were catching. Striped bass fishing remains hot. Your trolling still remains the best bet. Chunking at night has picked up. Weather now is going to turn a little bit for the next few days, so we're going to have to kind of pick our weather window to see when we can get out there. Porgy fishing remains good to the east. Lots of jumbo porgies coming in for the local party boats, but they are fishing to the east. Smithtown areas like that. Right now, our local scene with the porgy fishing isn't happening yet. There are some fluke around. Numbers aren't crazy. Lots of shorts with an occasional keeper, but we'll continue on that. I think the rain is messing that up, but we'll continue going for them. But striped bass fishing remains hot, hot, hot. Get out there, troll your mojos, your umbrellas. Get ready to cast when you read them.
Captain Mike Stenser, he's got the latest from Staten Island.
Thanks, Tim and Matt. Hope all is well. Well, guys, Mike Stenser here. I know it's been a few weeks. I haven't reported much from the bay, but there's definitely some nice gator blues to be caught from shore. Pretty much on lower tide. These bluefish are hovering, looking for some warmth from the sun. You can see their fins pretty much, gliding through the water, trying to get some sun, warming up the body temperatures. The stripers on the ocean front, as every year, every time, May, live eels, doing the Chuck Tillman Manny style, which is dragging the live eels on planer boards. That's doing pretty good with that. That hasn't changed. Sea bass opens up, New Jersey, May 17th, this Friday. And I can't be out there this Friday, but Saturday, hopefully I'll be out there. I've got a charter. And looking forward to giving these sea bass a good royal beatdown. The bluefin tuna bite, obviously the giants close. That means people stop going. Don't be afraid to go out there when the weather cooperates. There's definitely some to be had and some unders. Obviously 73 and over you can't keep. But yeah, looking forward for sea bass. Like I said, fluking also is actually doing better than usual at the mouth of Sandy Hook. One of the charter boats, I should say party boats, had a group of folks, I believe it was Sunday or Monday, came back with 56 keepers. That tells you if you find a nice honey hole, you could get like a really good day out there. So with that said, guys, tight lines. See you guys next week.
The Fisherman magazine, remember, we have our apparel store, hats, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts. They're all online now and free shipping with orders over $100. It's a great gift for yourself or that angler in your life. Visit thefisherman.com/shop or click on the card in the upper right. Don't forget this video is available as a podcast on iTunes and Google Music. You can check out this video along with our other content, and be sure to listen to our podcast, The Fisherman's Last Cast with Mike Dean. Well, there you have it, folks. We got a flea market this weekend. The Fluke bites heating up, stripers around the island, bluefish are in all the bays. Oh, if you get some time this weekend, the big regulator event going on at Suffolk Marine. If you ever dreamed about buying one or owning one, come test drive them and check them out down here. We'll see you next week.